I always take my toll, blood or gold.
Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new video, one that many of you asked me to make, and honestly one that I need to make in order to explain to myself what us Sivir mains are gonna expect in the new upcoming split and in the new 1410 patch, which is honestly a game changer. Many things are about to change. In this video I'm going to go over changes that are most relevant for Sivir. I am not going to go over each and every detail and percentage that is gonna change, even on the items that we build on Sivir. For example, Lordoms has a slight change in armor penetration percentage, Shieldbow doesn't have lifesteal anymore, and there are many other changes that I urge you guys to go and check by yourself in the patch notes, but are less relevant for this video. What we're gonna start with and how this video is gonna work is that I'm gonna start in general. I'm going to talk about runes, about the changes that we have in runes, about lethal tempo that is now removed. A lot of you I saw both in Reddit and in comments to my video and on my Discord in major panic about that, but we're gonna go over the alternatives and I'm going to explain to you why, in my opinion, it doesn't really matter, and honestly the changes might even benefit Sivir. So we're gonna go over item changes now, and for some items I'll do more in-depth explanations later, but let's go over the major changes, the ones that are most relevant for Sivir. So first, let's go over Navori Flickerblade. The removal of Navori Quickblade caused a lot of panic for Sivir mains, and I always said that Navori Quickblade is very overrated. The only thing that I did like about this item is Transcendence. Your attacks reduce your non-ultimate ability cooldowns. Honestly, Navori Flickerblades and Navori Quickblades is a completely different item, and what we have in common is only Transcendence and the word Navori. But why this is so exciting is that now we can build Infinity Edge with Navori Flickerblade and get literally best of both worlds. Mark my words, when we go on to mid game and to late game as a Sivir with Navori Flickerblade and Infinity Edge, teamfights are gonna look completely different from now on. So this is actually, at least in my opinion, a major buff. The next change is also pretty cool, and this is the change in Essence Reaver. Essence Reaver is no longer a Shin item. What we give up here is that quick burst damage that we used to have from Shin proc. But what we gain here is a viable build path for Sivir, for second and even first item. BF Sword is probably gonna be something that AD carries build first now, and Essence Reaver is a completely viable option for first item. Another really cool change about this item is that now you don't need to hit critical strike attacks in order to refund mana, but rather every basic attack, including minions, refund mana on hit. And this is honestly one of the biggest things for Sivir. If you build this item first in laning phase, you're gonna spam Q and W without any mana problems. And I mean, look at the stats, this item is crazy. You get ability haste, which whatever, I'm not a fan of, but you get 65 attack damage and you get 25 crit strike chance. This is huge. Next item we're gonna go over shortly is Bloodthirster. The change in this is that it doesn't give crit anymore. Now, is it sad? Yeah, it's fucking sad. If we build a third item, we're gonna feel a difference. But why doesn't it matter so much? First of all, they brought back the shield. The shield of excess lifesteal used to be one of the most OP things about Bloodthirster, and we have it now once again. Also, attack damage is raised, so this is also great. And as you know, crit items now give 25 instead of 20%. So we compensate on that 100% crit strike chance anyways, and I'm gonna touch that later on, the 25% crit change. Next one, Shieldbow. Shieldbow, not very interesting. Basically it gives 25% crit strike chance, but it doesn't have lifesteal in the build path. What it still has is the lifeline shield, which is great. Sometimes Sivir player really need the lifeline shield. Phantom Dancer. Phantom Dancer has gone through a pretty major change. They removed the increased attack speed on attack, but they increased 2 times the attack speed from 30% to 60%, and you are still ghosted. So time will tell if this change is major or not. I haven't done the mathematics of the actual attack speed from old Phantom Dancer to the new one, and I don't really care about it. Basically 60 attack speed is a lot. And we get to keep the move speed, and as you can see, movement speed, and you will see later on in the boots changes, has become a crazy motif for AD carries, and basically we're gonna zoom all around Summoner's Rift in this patch from now on. And last but not least, Statik Shiv. In my opinion, this is the coolest item change, and this is the one that we're gonna see so many Sivir mains pop off with in late game teamfights. So let's dive to Statik Shiv. Let's talk about the old passive first. Basically, what old Statik Shiv used to do is cause a chain lightning that deals some amount of magic damage, hitting up to 6 targets. And it would be great for clearing waves, for, I don't know, poking enemies in laning phase. But in my opinion, this item was completely shit, and I would rarely build Statik Shiv on Sivir. I think that it was completely redundant for wave clear anyway, since we have the most superior wave clear with W and Q. But new Statik Shiv is as if they changed this item especially for Sivir. Let's go over it. Electroshock now has 3 seconds cooldown. What it means is that when we kill enemies, meaning minions for example, we fire that exact chain of lightning that deals some amount of magic damage up to 6 targets. But here is the neat part. The lightning from killing champion deals 3 times the amount magic damage and has no cooldown. Meaning, late game fights, you get a kill, the enemy team is all clumped up, as happens many times. Your W ricochets between all those champions, and boom, you kill a champion. Lightning strike goes, 270 magic damage extra to each enemy champion. One of them dies again, another one is going out. Imagine the potential of repeatedly killing enemy champions that are clumped up in late game with your W, causing this extra damage that will completely obliterate and erase enemy teams. And I promise to you that we're gonna have some really amazing teamfight moments with Sivir now that we have this item. That's pretty much it for items, and I'm gonna go in depth on specific items later. I'd like to mention summoner spell changes. Basically Ghost went through a change and now the duration is shorter. I believe it went down from 15 to 10 seconds, which is pretty substantial, but I still think that this is the most ideal summoner for Sivir. Moving on to boots. We have 2 boots that I'm gonna speak about, and these are Boots of Swiftness and Berserker Greaves. And these changes are pretty awesome. First, Boots of Swiftness. So they removed the slow resistance, but what they added is pretty cool. And this is that on attack, you gain 20 movement speed with ranged. So Sivir gains 20 movement speed, and this is basically, and this really reminds Sivir passive, but the cool part is that it stacks on Sivir passive. That means that once we attack with Sivir, we're even more faster, and I think that this change is one of the coolest changes, because I don't think we're gonna lack attack speed, so Boots of Swiftness might be a viable option for Sivir. So next we have Berserker Greaves, and this is another very cool change of 1410, and this is that we have the classic Berserker Greaves that we know and we build every game on Sivir pretty much. Berserker Greaves are now upgradable at level 15. Basically, the Berserker Greaves becomes Zephyr, and Zephyr is an item that gives 40 attack speed compared to the 35% attack speed, and it gives 65 move speed and reduces effectiveness of slows by 20%, which is what Boots of Swiftness used to do. So what happens here is that at level 15 we basically get Boots of Swiftness, and that same 20 movement speed that we used to get from auto attacks are now the same 20 movement speed that are added on Zephyr. So what I'm thinking here is that maybe we start with Boots of Swiftness and then we replace them with Berserker Greaves, but honestly maybe we just do Berserker Greaves and go with it. This is a super cool change, and I'm interested to see if we actually are gonna switch boots along the game, which is a mechanic that we haven't seen yet, but who knows. Next, we have crit strike chance from items. Items now give 25 crit strike chance instead of 20. Sivir's biggest power spike was 3 items up until now. Now, this 3 item mark has become 75% crit strike chance. That's 3 out of 4 auto attacks that crit strike, and this is honestly one of the craziest things ever. What it also allows us is to obtain 100 crit strike chance with only 4 items, and our last item can be whatever we want. But this is not that exciting, since both Crack and Slayer and Statik Shiv do not give critical strike chance. And this is by design. We can understand that now, when we build Kraken first, or when we build Statik first, and this is exactly what we did up until now, if you ask me, this is another huge change for Sivir. Most of my games get to full build. I don't know if that's the way I play Sivir, that's my nature. I think that a smart Sivir player should try to slow down games as much possible, and that way we can get to full build. So now, essentially full build is 4 items and not 5, and this is great. Then again, we have Irelia that is full build when she gets Bork, so we're stuck with the 2009 design of Sivir, but we love her anyways. Let's go over press the attack. Now that lethal tempo is off the table, and we have to let go of the extra attack speed and range that we were used to get from fully stacking this rune, now we are looking to mainly use PTA. PTA is used as we know it in the sense that we proc it using 3 consecutive attacks. These 3 consecutive attacks deal extra damage. Old PTA would make the target exposed for 6 seconds, meaning that they take 8% increased damage from all sources for that duration. Now, PTA is without a time limit and is refreshed as long as we auto-attack. For the next 8 seconds, we are dealing extra damage, 8% extra damage. This is why I think that this rune is gonna be very superior to Lethal Tempo and obviously to Fleet Footwork, both in laning phase and later on in game, and of course in late game fight. So the last change that we are about to talk about, and that is pretty substantial, is First Strike changes. First Strike works as follows. If we damage an enemy champion, we get 2 influxes of gold. First one and second one. As you can see in this case, it was 15 at first and then 9. 15 is base gold. 15 is the amount that we get every time we proc First Strike, regardless of the amount of damage that we deal. 9 was based on the amount of damage that we dealt. What Riot did is triple the amount of base gold. I am currently in PvE, so you are seeing 15. It used to be 5. What they nerfed is the amount of gold that you get based on damage. We, as Sivir players, don't care about the nerf, but we actually benefit so much from the tripling of the base gold. Why? Because early on in game, enemy bot lane usually just ignores W bounces due to its low damage. They let it bounce, they don't care about it most times. What will now happen is that if they ignore it, we will get to farm so much gold and proc First Strike consistently that we will be able to get 2 items and the Tesla by 15 minutes in game. So this is another super cool change to expect for us Sivir mains. This is it for the patch rundown. Don't know what about you guys, but I am extremely excited for these changes. I feel that Sivir is gonna get a new perspective and a new playstyle. If you have any questions regarding what I just went over, and if I missed anything, which I probably did, make sure to comment below. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so, it really helps. If you want to watch live Sivir gameplay, make sure to follow me on Twitch, the link is in the description. And if you are interested in Sivir coaching, make sure to send me a message on Discord, link is also in the description. And until the next video, have a great time and I'll see you. Bye bye.